Hello and welcome to the channel. This is Steel City Knives. Right, this is going to be a bit of a chilled out one. We're not going to do any editing. It's just going to be me pointing and shooting, and then we're going to have a bit of a chat along the way. We'll have a nice Saturday knife chat. So let's get a few things out of the way first. I want to say personally a big well done and thank you to Thrifty Knifty and Slip Joint Sawyer. Unfortunately, I'll be working this weekend, so I will post this on Saturday, but I'm working night, so I'll probably miss their live. And they did ask for contributions from other channels for their giveaway, and I felt quite bad really, because both Slippy and Thrifty TK have supported this channel and always been really positive, and I talk to them a lot on the Discord and things like that. Well, I used to. I've been missing in action a bit recently. I've just been so busy, but they're both great guys, and I think both well deserved. And I'm sorry I've missed a lot of the lives, and I've had to. And they're a big part of the knife community, I feel now. I really enjoy the lives. And it's a shame when I miss them, because I like chatting to all you guys in the comment section bit. And but I tend to work a lot of weekends. So, but the plus side of that is I've been banging in a load of work, and I've got a lot more knives to show. But yeah, I have to watch them on the replay. But really been enjoying all the lives, definitely. And talking of lives, with this open tag was started by Terry over Terry's Knives and Man Stuff, and he's been on the lives a few times, and I'm really a big fan of the channel, Terry. I don't think I've commented as much as probably I do. I'm one of these where I watch a lot of videos, but I very rarely comment, and I should really, because it does help YouTube. The people doing the channels, it really does help them. And I personally, I love it when you guys comment and I get to chat to you guys. I usually reply on my break. It gives me something to do, and it takes my mind off work, and it's I do enjoy it, and I'm trying to reply to everybody. I'm a bit rubbish at old videos because you have to go into like the YouTube Studio app to pick up on them unless you go back and have a look, and I'm rubbish at doing that because I'm not one of these that are big on the old YouTube, the YouTube app, I'll tell you now, tells you all your statistics and how much, and that it's lost on me. But the comments, if it's a recent video, I'll try and reply and have a chat with you. Anyway, that's what I mean. This video is going to just be my points of view. It's going to be a bit uncut. I'm probably going to say a few things that will offend a few people along the way probably as well, but never mind. But yeah, also, Terry, I can remember when you first went on RJ's, and I loved it, mate, because you shown about 3 or 4 knives back to back, and I could see you was in full swing, really passionate, and there were some brilliant knives you were showing. And I think you just stopped yourself and thought, I'm taking over the show here. But I loved it, mate. You should have carried on going. I love stuff like that. And I love hearing people really passionate about knives. Right, so I'm going to do a bit of an update on my channel. I've just hit 500 subscribers myself, and don't think that it's gone unforgotten. I really appreciate all the support, and I appreciate... And I always like to mark these occasions and do a bit of a giveaway, and I'm sure I will do it at some point, but I've just been so busy recently. It's no excuse, and I do apologise, but we will get round to doing something like that. So I do appreciate it, and keep them coming. Please hit that subscribe and like the video, please, because it does help. Another thing, Drew White, who's become quite a good friend now, I message him quite regularly, and I'm absolutely loving it because he keeps showing me, sending me videos and this, that, and the other. It's brilliant. So really appreciating that. I've got his follow-up of his collection. So these collection videos, it was going to start off as just doing one video designated to that person, and that was it, on to the next one. But I think it's going to be a bit more fluid than that now, because like I say, I speak to Drew quite a bit. I email Roland. I need to email you. Actually, mate, I wanted to pick your brains about something. I hope you don't mind, about a custom knife that I found. I just wanted to ask a few questions about it with you, but I might email you if you don't mind. But so yeah, basically that's going to be a lot more fluid, and I'll probably, because I kept doing part 1, part 2, part 3 and stuff like that, but I think now and again I'll just put a video together and I'll put it out there, because Roland sent me a few more knives that he's got that I wouldn't mind talking about and doing a bit of a video on. So there'll probably be some of them coming up in the future. But yeah, so, and I started this off, I put pulled so many stockmans out of the collection, and it just turned into a massive video. So I've just selected these 4 to talk about. And a bit of a follow-up on so the last video I brought out was me not very happy with a knife that I just picked up. And that was, it was a John Primble Barlow. And if you didn't watch the video, basically it was on the tag stamp, it said USA, and on the advertisement and on their advertisement, it sort of led you to believe it was an American-made knife, which I later found out it wasn't. It was a Chinese-made knife, and it was very poorly put together. So I made a complaint with the seller. He was absolutely brilliant, and he's got a brilliant site, and I was hoping to do a special on that, but he didn't get back to me, so I didn't feel comfortable putting it together. So, but I just wanted to let you know he was brilliant about it. I'm definitely going to be buying stuff from him again in the future, and it's a brilliant company. And when he emails me back, I'll probably put a video together showcasing, because he's got quite a unique site with some brilliant knives on it. So, right, so let's get on with the open tag. So Terry, I've not really had a lot to do with you, mate, and I think I've made a few comments on the channel, but I just wanted to say hello from Steel City Knives and really enjoy your content, mate, and you're a brilliant character to watch. So I picked these 4 knives. I went with these open tags. You think, well, what can I put a spin on it? What can I add to it? And things like that. And at first I thought, I'll do all the different sizes of stockman, like the standard sizes. But throughout the years, different companies have got their own interpretation of that. The pattern sizes do seem to be a set standard knives, but certain companies will do certain sizes, and it gets a bit complicated and a bit boring, to be honest, if I'm completely honest. But I'm a bit of a knife geek, and I enjoy looking up on all of that. So originally, I think when they first came out, they were like the original stockman was a cattle knife. And then about 20 years later, they brought out the stockman pattern. But originally the ranchers and the farmers and things like that, they would have a cattle knife. But that was quite a big, bulky pattern. And then this was seen as a bit more of a streamlined, bit more of a better pattern than this sort of overtook. And to this day is probably far more popular than the cattle knife. But I don't think I have a cattle knife in the collection. I need to pick one up, really. But yeah, so this sort of replaced that about 20 years later. Now, they class, so there's a cut-off point. I know Case have small, medium and large, but there is the cut-off point was 3.5 inches. So 3.5 inches and upwards was a standard stockman, and then anything below that was classed as a junior. So I've got a couple of juniors here. These would be classed as juniors. And these are 3 5/8, and they'll be classed as a full-size stockman. And then these would be the juniors. And what are these? I think these are 3 1/4. Let me just double check. Professional as always. Yeah, these are 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 inches for the junior sizes here, right? So I'll pick these 4 as well. So with the stockman, sometimes you get a square bolster and a round bolster. So we've got 2 square and 2 round here. I must admit I do like the rounded bolsters, but I like a bit of variety in the collection. So, but yes, so I've also bought these. These are owned by 2 different companies, even though they're 2 different brands. These are Smoking Mountain Knife Works owned. We've got a Queen and a Rof Rider, and these are by Buffalo Knife and Tool. We've got a Roper and a Cattleman Cutlery. So where do we start? Let's deep dive into individual ones. So let's start with the Cattleman Cutlery. This is a new addition to my collection. I've got Jersey Knife Guy to blame for this because he keeps showing them, and I thought I've got to have one. And I'll tell you why I bought it. One, I like that shield. I thought that was brilliant. And I like it when they're intricate like this. And I watched a video recently on Otter from their manufacturing of the anchor knife. And how they did it was they put the knife in a jig. They have a frame here, like a metal frame that they move a tool around. And then there's some linkages to a cutting machine on this side. So they put the knife in a jig like that. They do the CC here. And then the cutting tool through the linkages follows the tool. It's ever so good. I'll put it on my community page for you to have a look if you've not seen it, because it's brilliant. But it's really well inlaid there. Really, I was really impressed with the fit and finish on this. As you can see there, it's for this money. So I do a Frugal Fridays series, and I was going to put this on it because the premise is knives under £20. that are sort of, sort of punching above that price tag. And this would be definitely classed as that, because what you've got here is zebra wood or zebra wood. And it's really, it's not a cheap wood. And they're putting on this very well budget knife. And this is a really good representation of it, where you've got those stripes like a zebra. So how you get those stripes is there's a quarter cut and a half cut. I can't remember which one it is. I think it might be the half cut. If it's a half cut, you get this really nice uniformed grain pattern, and that's where the zebra wood comes from. If you don't cut it right, you get this more not as defined lines, but still beautiful. So this isn't the only knife I have with zebra wood. So I have a queen. This is the original queen, D2 steel. And as you can see here, this is zebra wood covers. And again, they've not cut it the way that you get the uniform stripes, but an absolutely beautiful piece of wood. But this is such a good, I was lucky to get this knife because it's got such a good representation of the zebra wood covers. But brilliant wood for knife covers, and really unique. If you know this channel, you know me, I love wood covered knives, and there's so much variation with wood and the different sort of species that you get with them. The only flaw that this knife has is, you see that nail nick? It's quite well hidden within the blade well, but it's not completely impossible. If you just grab it from this side, you'll easily get to it. And with a lot of these smaller stockmans, you're going to find that you're going to have a Turkish or Californian clip. But I love this. I love this sort of really sleek, really pokey. I like them. I think they especially suit this sort of frame, definitely. But yeah, really nice knife. Really impressed with this one. Just think it's a really good knife for the money. And I was going to do a Frugal Friday, but I thought I need to do an open tag. I haven't done an open tag for a while, and I love the idea of this one. So yeah, really impressed with that. I'm glad I got it in the collection. I think I watched, actually talking about TK, I watched one of his before I bought this as well, and he dressed it up a little bit. He got his Dremel out and polished it up, and it did look nice. But I quite like this satin sort of look as well, and it does. Sometimes you don't get as many marks on it, and it just stays a bit more. Same with the blades. I think they're a satin finish on them, so you're not a fingerprint magnet. But yeah, really impressed with that. Glad I got it in the collection. Right, on to the next one. Like I say, it's just going to be a bit of me having a bit of a ramble today. So we'll have a look at this Rof Rider. So again, this is highly polished, and this is a fingerprint magnet, but right, so I love it when Rof Rider do wood covers, and they're calling this root wood. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, root wood's not a species, it's just where it's cut from. So they've just called it root wood to get out of actually putting down what the actual species is. So it's quite cleverly done, really. So they could use any sort of species as long as it's cut from that sort of area, and that's why they call it root wood. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still learning, and I love it when you guys do that and put me right in the comment section. So definitely, but beautiful covers. And again, this was like £15, so this would definitely be a Frugal Friday knife, but really well put together, nice, and really nice knife. And none of these have blade rub on them, none of them, which is brilliant, really. And look how well they're put in there. So really impressed with this one. So yeah, Rof Rider, do some more wood covers, because do enjoy their wood. They do some brilliant wood covered knives. Right, on to the next one. We'll rattle through them. Right, this is where I might create a bit of controversy, I think. Well, not really, but I just have this theory about Queen. So I love Queen, as you know. I hope to get a lot more of the original ones in the collection. And I did a short on these Chinese ones. How do you feel about them? Because, I was really sad when Queen went under. I thought Queen was such a good company, and if they hung on just that little bit longer, when everybody then started, because traditionals are really taking off now, and we've got loads of Chinese good makers out there that are throwing out a lot of Chinese decent knives at a really affordable price. But how many decent American companies are there? American, well, I'm going to get some abuse in the comment section here. There are a few, but like Bear & Son can be a bit hit and miss. Who else we got? Case, they are brilliant. Don't come after me, Mike. They are brilliant. and I really enjoy collecting case. But case, I think they've got so big now, the quality controls definitely, the more knives you manufacture, the harder it is to get the QC bang on, because you can't check them all, can you, really? But and they're a brilliant knife case. I'm not one of these case bashers. I do enjoy collecting case. I've just bought another one recently, but yeah, really a couple actually. Stu, I've got your little butterbean, mate. Give us a shout. But yeah, so yeah, I do enjoy collecting case knives, but they are, yeah. And like I say, what we've got, Bear & Son case, GC's sort of prices themselves out for a lot of people, and they're really hard to get. So Queen would have just really... Now, the Queen and Queen Cutlery has gone to Smoking Mountain Knife Works. Shatton Morgan's gone somewhere else. Now, Shatton Morgan knives are being made really well by the looks of it, but again, they're so expensive. Now, they were their premium line when Queen had them, but they are really expensive now. So I think that's sort of put a lot of people off. But yeah, I just wish they had hung on a little bit longer. So where I stand with Queen, I love Queen. I know over in America you can pick up some of the older ones quite relatively cheap still. I mean, like the Queen Cutlery stuff. Over here, a bit more harder to get. So these, as much as everyone's saying, oh, yeah, they're brilliant and, really enjoy them, they're basically replicas. So when they bought the company, they didn't just buy the badge and everything else. They bought the patent, the right to the patents, probably the right to their future patents and their past patents. So really, they could do some insane stuff with that back catalogue of knives. And I bet they've still got their future patents and everything that's associated with the badge. So they've got such a wealth of stuff they could do with that company and all those patents. And this is where, so we all love this. And when this came out, it was considered, and it's a brilliant knife. This line was brilliant. Now I'm wondering, don't come after me, but I wonder if this was a future pattern that they never released. And or was this Smoky Mountain Knife Works design? I don't know, but it'd be nice to know, wouldn't it? But I just think this is so good. I'm not saying Smoky Mountain Knife Works are not capable of producing such a brilliant knife. I'm not saying that at all. I wonder if this was one that they just never released, that they had. Because I can't remember ever seeing anything like that. This worm groove, that's Queen through and through. The Big Chief, Queen through and through. The yellow Delrin, that was an old Queen pattern that they used to produce a lot of. I can't remember seeing this one. But whether this is one that they did have and they designed, but they just never got around to putting it into production, I don't know. But it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? But yeah, just a bit of food for thought. But yeah, so basically when we're buying these, we're essentially just buying old replicas. Now, for me, I love Queen and I just like that. I've always wanted a yellow Delrin Queen, and because they brought that line out, of course I'm going to buy them for like £18. And again, Frugal Friday, I could have put any of them definitely for it, because they're punching definitely above their price tag. And this is really well put together. I'm really impressed with the Chinese Queen stuff, definitely. But yeah, I have mixed feelings about the Queen being made in China, but I might be on my own. But let me know in the comment section. Right, roper knives. I've shown this one before. RJ's a big fan of these, and a lot of American channels were showing them. We can't get them in the UK, so I had to get them from Europe, Lamnia, I believe it was, and I got 5, and I did a bit of an overview video to show you what they're like, but they're absolutely really well put together. I think out of the 5, I got 1 that had a bit of gap in. That was about it, but really well put together. It comes in a green bone and a red bone, but yeah, just... Now, I am somebody that still reads a lot of the old knife forums, and I tell everybody it's a good place to gain a bit of knowledge, and there's a lot of knowledgeable people on there, and I quite enjoy looking at the old, because I don't think many people go on them now, but brilliant back in the day. And there's a lot of like things posted, pictures and old catalogues and all sorts of stuff, tang stamps. It's a brilliant source of information on knives, but really impressed with the roper lineup. And what I found on those knife forums and things like that is that I'm sure it was on a knife forum that I read it, but a lot of cattlemen or stockmen or farmers or whatever actually use the roper brand and really rate it. And you'll find a lot of people in that sort of farming industry or whatever that will use roper because they're a lot more affordable than case. and they use carbon steel. So the people actually out there doing the work, and probably these knives were originally designed for, do rate rope and use them a lot. That's what I found. I've stumbled across a discussion. It was two guys, different states of America, and pretty much agreeing on, I've found that in the hardware stores, they get their knives out and it's a rope and knife. And so, yeah, they're really well thought of, and they're a good knife, really well put together. So I rate roper, really do. But yeah, okay, that's my little Stockman Stampede, a little bit of a ramble, a little bit of a talk. It's been a while since I've just pointed and shooted with you. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing okay. Bit of an update as well. Think of me while I'm grafting away on my 12 hours over the weekend, but getting that knife money in. So I hope you all have a good weekend, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.